Hello there, friends! The semifinals of ESL Rio are here. There are only 4 teams left, and only 2 of them will have the opportunity to play in front of this huge audience on the stage of the noisiest major in history. Outsiders, Mouz, Entropiq, and of course Furia. The most unpredictable outcomes, clutches from Jame, and of course the incredible atmosphere in the match with Furia. Rio Major 2022. We're one step away from the grand finale. Let's get straight to it. But even on such a busy day of the major, a lot of interesting things happened on the pro scene. For example, Entropiq disbanded their roster. It has been known for a long time, but now the players have become free agents. There are already so many transfer opportunities. Entropiq left only Hooch and Forrester. Apparently they want to sell them more expensive, because someone will definitely want to buy them. Any of these players can be taken into Cloud9, Force, K23, 1win, or even assemble a new team together. What do you think will happen to the guys? There is also Ilian, Mir and the rest of them, who can easily get into lineups of a tier 2 or almost tier 1 teams. And by the way, speaking about Cloud9, Nafani decided to speak about all the rumors around his team. I believe that we will stay in Cloud9. It's not really my job, so I don't have additional information. But as far as I know, we will play the next year in the same lineup, so there will be no possible replacements in future, at least at the moment. The guys were the favorites of ESL Rio, but lost to themselves on the third map. Perhaps by major in France we will see a completely different mood, or maybe they will take Forrester instead of Inters. And what do you think should Cloud9 change in their composition? And we turn to the main news of yesterday. ESL announced the best player of the decade. It was simple. Some people didn't expect that, and some of them were not impressed, as it was clear already. He is officially the best player in the history of CSGO according to ESL. He's ahead of Device, Forest, Kerrigan and even Fallen. Here's what he said at the ceremony.
Yeah, I should say something, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting award for me, and it's hard to tell something because we lost yesterday. And guys, I know that you all cheer for Furia and all of this. Now I cheer for Furia as well, and thank you everyone who's coming to this tournament. First of all, thank you everyone who attends this tournament and cheer for their favorite team and follow Counter-Strike. That's the most important for me. The game changed my life, and I just want to play. And when I see a lot of when I see more fans and different fans, I'm more excited. That's why I'm playing.
Wonderful. A last word to the fans?
Yeah, guys. I love you. I love you guys. Thank you.
Friends, do you agree that s1MPLE is the best player of the decade? Write your top 5 in the comments below. It will be interesting to read. Friends, today I want to tell you about a decent website, csgo.net. Have you long considered updating your inventory? Now is the best time to act. Moreover, csgo.net launched a thematic Rio Major operation with dozens of neat bonuses and a dedicated giveaway. Here you can find many cases of any taste, upgrades, contracts and absolutely everything you might need. What makes csgo.net so unique? It's pretty simple. They've been here for years, have their integrity system, a massive amount of users with reviews and proofs, and obviously a referral system. And I can't leave you without a generous bonus. Use my promo code LIVE to get an extra 40% for your deposit. Follow the link in the pinned comment and try it for yourself. Let's move to the semi-final games of the major. It's crazy how it turns out that no team from the HLTV's top 5 has reached the decisive stage. Here they are: Vitality, FaZe, Liquid, Navi, Cloud9. Instead, the rest of the top went further. Outsiders, Mouz, Entropiq and Furia. These 4 teams have come a long and difficult way. They beat the entire HLTV's top and defeated the dark horses to get to this stage. Everyone expected it to be the greatest major in history, and that's partly how it turned out. But only when the Brazilian teams played. The rest of the matches were quiet. Fallen had to make it clear to the audience that this is not right. I would like to take the opportunity to speak with you. There are things that do not show us in the best light. There were guys who spat at the players. We have to focus on one thing. Everyone's okay with cheering, making noise, booing during the game. But when the game ends, we have to support the people who came to Brazil. We need to show that they are safe here, that we love them and appreciate their work. One should not cannot outweigh the other. We have to show our best side so that we have as many tournaments as possible, to make people want to come back. That's what it means to be Brazilian, to give your best and respect each other. But the Polish legend, Taz, on the contrary, sided with the fans. Playing in the middle of the stadium against Furia and the Brazilian crowd is probably just something incredible. We realized one thing: there is no need to provoke the fans. I don't understand why teams do this in Brazil. This only makes the player and the team feel more tension. In general, the community was divided, and whose side are you on? Is Simple to blame himself for teasing the audience, or should fans not behave like this? In general, if there was soundproof booths for the players, there would not be such a question. And now it's time to talk about the games. Mouz versus Outsiders. The first team has already managed to surprise us with the incredible game against Cloud9, and the latter play academically in cold-blooded way, and all their players are in incredible shape. I think we're out for a great match.
Of course, now they will be turning to face the Outsiders. Mouse Sports already taking down Cloud9 to get here, but man, Outsiders, give them an inch, they will absolutely take a mile. They can make anybody uncomfortable in the server today here, Mouse.
They will. Mouz will have to conquer this team that has so much more experience.
Mouz chose Ancient, Outsiders picked Overpass, and we have Inferno as a decider. Who will be the first finalist? Let's watch. A bad start for Outsiders. At first, Fame couldn't kill anyone in the back. Then, Norbert starts defusing the bomb, instead of helping Jame in a 2 versus 1 situation. The defense gives away 4 rounds one by one, but then Norbert fixes his mistake by killing 3 in a row. And as soon as Outsiders took this round, the attack's strength and confidence began to fade. Mouz were brainstorming the tactics of reaching plants, threw grenades all around, but then they were just dying in a couple of seconds. And that happened every round. By the way, we haven't heard Brazilian fans at all this time, especially compared to yesterday. And as for the game, the attack had the chance to come back after James' fail, but Norbert wins the clutch, and the score becomes 10-5 in the first half. In the second half, Outsiders started having problems, but not with the attack, with computers. Fleet freezes, and Fame had to kill him to pick up the bomb, after which everything went wrong. ESL, what can I say? Indeed, people can face technical difficulties sometimes, but there are way too many at this tournament. But it seems like eventually, this pause has only benefited Outsiders, because right from the start, Fleet makes 2 headshots like a real savage, and then Kicker does the same thing. Just watch it, it must be illegal. They even managed to win the last round from a 2 versus 4 situation. The attack side is too easy, and it's 16-10 in Outsiders' favor.
And Outsiders, they'll pick up the first match 16-10 with an absolutely suffocating performance.
Mouz ended up showing a very weak game on their Ancient, but remember how only a day ago they confidently beat Cloud9 here. Next up we have Outsiders' choice, and by the time they began playing on the second map, the stands began to fill up a little, which is quite logical because Furia will be playing soon. But the semi-final of the major still takes place in emptiness and silence. That's rather unfortunate. Meanwhile, the match itself was very boring. No one was cheering up for anyone. There were no highlights. It felt like watching an online CSGO tournament. The attack has already won 6 rounds, considering the lost pistol. Closer to the end, Mouz decided to tune in, take a series of rounds in response, and the score is 9-6 in the first half. The second half of the game begins with Outsiders winning 6 rounds in a row. The guys from Mouz were not visible on the server at all. Meanwhile, the Brazilian fans were having as much fun as they could while waiting for the start of the Furia game. When the score was 12-9, Mouz decided to show some kind of resistance after all and began to gain rounds. At some point, they could have even saved the game, but Jame comes to the rescue. And first, he does a triple kill during a half echo round. And then he performs a crazy highlight. Yes, baby, it's Jame time.
I don't even think Jame realizes he can actually save. He probably feels like there's presence in the B-bomb site, but the clutch is on.
Oh, that smoke, it catches the rail, and that's a little bit unfortunate. Otherwise, maybe going to try some prison pressure. He's still going to go for it. He picks up that one. No! Oh, no! Out of this world! Jame! Are you kidding me? He actually picks up the round!
That's it. Call it. Mouz ain't coming back from that. You said he was boring. He's got you on your feet. Unbelievable from Jame.
The audience just stood up after that. The whole stadium is screaming his name. His teammates are blown away. The opponent is mentally crushed. A clutch to make it to the major finals. Jame takes outsiders to the score of 14-11. Usually, there is no chance to see a comeback after such moments. And the most incredible thing about it all is that Mouz still managed to do it. We see an unexpected comeback. They took the next one, and then they won in a 3 versus 5 situation with a planted bomb. Just look at this double kill from Tosi. He didn't even see anyone. Unbelievable. Well, and the stadium just kept waiting for Furia.
And this is almost another painful loss again. Okay, sure. A double off that as well.
Then, Mouz confidently won 4 rounds in a row. I don't know how to explain it. Dexter simply had several 100% rounds at the end. This is the most unexpected end of the game, especially after the clutch from Jame. Perhaps outsiders thought that this has already been won, but no, they'll have to play on the third map.
They're not ready. Frozen is there. It's kick on left. And Mouse Sports, tonight they are strong. 16-14, they survive.
What a comeback. It never even felt possible until the end. It didn't seem like there was a chance.
Let's see how the teams played on Inferno, and it all starts with Mouz winning the pistol round once again. But right from the first full buy, the defense completely takes the initiative and wins 7 rounds in a row. At the end, the attack managed to take several rounds, which leads to a close score of 9-6. But honestly, outsiders look much stronger. In the second half of the game, they win the start and get a double advantage. Fleet also wins an important clutch, leaving Mouz no chance for a comeback. And Jame puts the final point in this confrontation.
Great effort, Dexter, just in time, and it's a 1 versus 2 now. I actually think they might have a chance here. Jame, very low on health as well. Going to be putting the bomb down. But don't underestimate him. Smoke us up. And he's playing this open angle, taking down Exertion. If they peek him again, Frozen's on the other side. And Jame, he will steal it away from them. Quad kill clutch.
How did he know that the two of them would be coming out of there? Probably he's just a CS genius that takes his team to the final of a major for the second time.
1 versus 2, and there's the headshot. Outsiders tested again and again by Mousesports, but they have proven indestructible.
Unfortunately, there were simply no chances for the youngsters from Mouz on the third map. Jame is the best statistically on the first 2 maps. At the last major, there were a lot of questions about him in terms of individual play, but now there are no complaints. Well, you can cut down his post-match interview into quotes, but rather into one particular.
Jame, first off, it looked like you would have it in 2 maps. Were you surprised that it went to Inferno?
I don't care, but guys, thank you a lot for your support, and it's so amazing.
You can't hear me? He thanks everyone for their support. It is very loud. I'm gonna try again. Jame, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about the fact that you make it to your second final at a major, but now again with Kickert and with Dastan, with all your new teammates as well?
I don't know, I have no words. It's live. It's happened again. I don't know. It's just live.
Jame, are you ready to play in this madness tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm waiting for Furia or Heroic, I don't know. But I want a Furia here. Yeah.
And can you sign this camera, please? Yeah.
By the way, if outsiders win the major, it will be the first time in history when a team without an org will become a champion. Since Virtus.pro are sanctioned, will this happen or not, we will see today. Next in line is Furia versus Heroic match. Will the Brazilian Magic be able to defeat CADIAN as well? Before the match, by the way, he tried in every possible way to please the audience because he understood what was ahead of him. Regardless of what happens in the match against Furia, I want to thank the Brazilian public for the amazing days. My team and I have never felt such support. We will always be grateful for that. Let's see how they were greeted. CADIAN chose a different tactic. He didn't tease the crowd like S1MPLE, but made a heart gesture, waved, and gave everyone smiles. What a sweetheart. And now be ready, it's gonna be an earthquake.
Wow. There's an amount of love in this arena right now that is kind of unparalleled. You can't quite take it all in, but obviously that's a big step right there.
Furia is entering the arena. Many noticed that Yuri carried out the flag of Ukraine, and it instantly spread all over the world. Well, this battle will be legendary. Will Heroic be able to withstand this deafening crowd? Yesterday, Navi failed. Inferno, Ancient, Nuke, let's dive. On their pick, the Danes started off by winning the pistol round, which makes the fans quiet, but K-Serato quickly fixes this. During the full buy, he makes the first highlight on Banana. The audience is ecstatic. Furia are on the rise. Immediately in the next round, Art does the same thing only with Op. Here it is. The Brazilian spirit has joined the server.
The second shot, more required, a tip on Tessa's head. Still heavily favouring this defence, but if they could... Oh! Fine! Art! Beauty! Poetry! 3 on the defence!
Now Sephi is shooting down enemies full echo, and then the audience starts to just suffocate from this energy. Just listen to it, not a single chance to hear the casters.
Trying to get cheeky with it. Furia are not laughing.
He understands playing over towards that arch side, that 3/4 long smoke there, give them the mid to B option.
CADIAN, as an experienced player, is trying to somehow lift up his young team's mood. His teammates are 20 to 21 years old, and Jame is only 19. No wonder they can get confused from such a pressure. With an unreal amount of difficulties, the Danes take 6 rounds in the first half. Usually this is enough for a good defense, but not this time. Furia, energized by the crowd, turned on beast mode with Heroic. They win the pistol round, force, and after which the whole stadium has already stood up. The fans were ecstatic about their team breaking their opponent. This was the finale of this domination.
Prime position for that frag, takes down K-Serato, holds down his trigger, the drops 2, still running out of steam. Oh, drop doing it all for the boys, can they get that bomb down? Tess is hunting, he's missed his chance on the orb, but still hits it as the bomb comes in. I don't believe it, Furia actually set 4-14.
But how could they lose a round with B being reinforced by 4 players? This is the end, and the Danes are simply destroyed. It seems that after Navi, the Brazilians are ready to roll over anyone. It's 16-6 on Heroic's pick.
Oh no! This round has to be defused! It's over! 16-6! Maybe we don't understand.
Then the game moves to Ancient. Here the Danes get off to a good start. They won the pistol round and didn't fail in the clutch with drop. But as soon as they lost a couple of rounds, the Brazilians rushed forward again, shooting only in their heads. However, this time they began to play more aggressively and made a mistake. The defense takes a very important echo round and wins the next impossible 2 versus 4 clutch. After that, Heroic were able to get back into the game and they didn't give a single round away. The score is 10-5 in the first half. In the second half of the game, the Danes win the pistol round, and then in the following rounds they forced Brazilians to constantly play with bad economy. When the score was 15-6, the Danes made their most fatal mistake. They allowed Furia to take the first round in defense. After all, if the Brazilians get the necessary energy, there will be no turning back. They started taking rounds one by one. Well, and the main hero of this comeback is K-Serato. This guy didn't miss.
Time's ticking, safe is fragging. Oh, and so's K-Serato. It has to be Tesses. 2 to 5, and he can't quite get it.
After the match, people calculated that during the comeback his KD ratio was 18-1. It's just crazy. And all the stuff happening on the map was also pure madness.
Has to find. All bodies dropping. Yabi gets 2. Oh my goodness! God damn, that was close to ridiculous.
The score was 15-5 and now it's 15-13. Even S1MPLE tweeted saying, "You removed Train for this?" While CADIAN was simply unbreakable. It's 15-14, a glorious comeback. As soon as Furia connects to the stadium's energy, there's simply no stopping them. And in the last round, CADIAN wanted to fool the entire defense in a genius way. He fakes at plant A and runs to his team at plant B. But Art reads that and decides to wait out. And then the Brazilians do this.
Tucked in the corner, down on the ball. Okay, Furia hitting their shots, and the impossible manifests in Rio de Janeiro. I can't believe we go to OT. It was set.
A comeback from a score 5-15 in the semifinals of the major, right in front of your audience. A dream come true, or is it not? Heroic gave 10 rounds in a row, and as it always happens in the overtime, they finally get to take the decisive round in the attack. But the main thing is that they won it. Will Furia be able to win at least one in attack? It's ancient, you know how it is. And it was this round that became decisive. The Brazilians give 2 in a row and remain one step away from the third map.
Resilient, but down. He's brilliant, and so are Heroic. Holding on in the face of adversity.
It was simply beautiful. Furia did the impossible, and Heroic were able to cope with this unreal atmosphere. The score is 1-1. Everything will be decided on Nuke. And apparently, the Brazilian magic has vanished. They used it all to make the comeback happen. In the third round, Heroic win 1 vs 3 clutch, a crazy one. And here's where Furia's fall began. The Danes were already doing whatever they wanted, and the Brazilians could not resist. The fans tried their best to help. After every frag, they chanted and sang, but it seems that Heroic got used to it, so they kept doing their best. Furia, with the help of their audience, was able to take only 5 rounds in the first half. They needed to win 11 against Heroic's defense. That was almost unreal. Especially when they lose the second pistol round in a 5 vs 3 situation later, and a 4th round after that. And the final point was this moment. Later, the Brazilians will be going over and over this one in their heads, with shivers going down their spine.
Position, he's up the ladder and behind them. And into the top they walk.
Oh my
Down
God.
is going to clutch this one out.
There's no way. Just breaking all of their hearts. The ace clutch from Stone. That is superb.
The impossible clutch and an ace. Staven buries Furia on this nuke and turns the stadium into a library. Perhaps if Furia took this round, it would have been another story. And you know how strong the fate of Brazilians is and what they can do thanks to it. But after the score became 14-5, people at the stadium started crying, realizing that this was the end. And CADIAN, with a hat-trick, only brought the inevitable closer. CADIAN is left in a 1v3, but he's not destined to create another Brazilian miracle, as it happened on Ancient.
Career. He'll take it by force. Heroic are off to the grand finals of IEM Rio 2022.
Furia's fairy tale falters here. Heroic take their next step and a changing of the guard regardless.
Heroic are the major finalists in Brazil. Not a single Brazilian squad reached the finals. And look at CADIAN. The guys from Furia are standing in a circle telling each other the words they have to say. And the Danes stand and respectfully wait for them. And after CADIAN comes up and hugs everyone, apparently it must have been the words of support and maybe a piece of advice. After all, Drop among all of them took it to heart most and cried after the match. CADIAN is simply the best. He really deserved this victory and earned respect among all CS fans. Well, the Brazilian fairy tale is over. People shed tears on Twitter, others are simply proud, but most of the community has the opposite opinion. I mean, Thorin, Overdrive and others say that this audience did not deserve Furia in the final, all because of the fact that during the first match of the semifinals, the stadium was empty. It looks like now the finals will be played with no live audience. But this major is still a major. No matter how hurt Furia fans are, we will have an epic battle in a conclusive match. Jame versus CADIAN. I simply hope there will be people in the arena and we will get the energy of Major's final. ESL Rio 2022. One match left. We'll discuss it tomorrow. See you soon.